Well, we are now recording, Jill.
All right. Hold on. My printer is going off. Hold on.
Hey, Jill, can you hear me? I just got a message from Jennifer Modlin that says she's getting invalid meeting ID on the Zoom link. Anybody know what to do about that?
You guys see the, she can go to our webpage and click on the link from there and see if that works. Like it worked for me to go that way.
I would say mine just redirected me to the correct place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm texting her. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's good to see you guys here. It's good to see some faces, some old faces, not old, not like you're old, but some old members that are back here tonight, and seeing some of you join that we haven't seen in a while. So it's good to have you here, and we appreciate you coming. I know everybody is super busy. I was trying to say last time that like this is about the time, like in a normal year, that we would really, Garner would really get rolling with things, because usually in March is when we would really get rolling with things, and that would be a month before the event, and that's kind of where we are now, is a month before the event. So you know, I know it's going to happen, and I know people are going to show up and figure out what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. And I know it's going to happen, you know, over the next month. So I look forward to hearing what everybody's doing. I did send out, hopefully you guys saw it, and just maybe hadn't had time to do it yet. I've had 9 teams fill out the Google form that was sent out. And we're kind of trying to do that as a way to kind of capture what everybody's doing at the event, so we can figure out, like, let teams know in case you still don't know what you want to do, so you can kind of decide what it is that your team might want to do depending on what other people are doing. I know we don't have a lot of teams that have told me yet that they're cooking. I know St. Andrews is going to do a lot of cooking all day, using the shelter, using the big shelter. I know that Chick-fil-A is going to be out there selling sandwiches and tea and lemonade. So I do know of those 2 things. And then the only other food things I know are like small food things like baked goods and like ices and things like that. So I don't know of another team yet that's doing a big cooking thing. So if your team, if that's something your teams might be interested in, then that's something to think about and let us know about, or you know, just, you know, try to get an idea of what you want to do. But on the Google Forms, I asked if you were going to need a campsite, and I did get the question from someone not with the Garner Relay what a campsite was. So I thought it'd be a good idea to explain. That's what we have always called like where our tents are set up. So I can't remember who it was. I don't think she's on here. But someone had said, the person that asked what a campsite was saying that they just normally just put up a tent and hang out under it. So our campsites, what we consider campsites, are your tent, like your pop-up awning tent, with whatever your fundraiser is for at the event under it. And you like could decorate it for your team or whatever. So that's what we call campsites. Maybe they're called something else at other events. Is there somebody from one of the other events that y'all called it something different than a campsite?
No, that's what we called it too. So.
Okay.
The camp.
So, you know, just we'd like to know, we'll have to know how many people are going to be on the track, so that Jeremy and Will can start working on like a layout of, you know, how big the campsites will be and that kind of thing. and knowing what people are doing for their fundraisers out there helps us also because if somebody's cooking food, then if you have grills and things like that, you won't be on the track. We have a little food area that's off to the side where those people will be. So we've kind of always had like the track like full of fundraisers, like events and fundraisers and things like that. And then we've always had a little food area where people were cooking and selling food and things. Chick-fil-A is not cooking the food out there, so they'll be on the track at their campsite. They have already told me that they would be out there. So if you haven't had the chance to fill out the Google form yet, if you could do that as soon as possible. If you, I can try to put out next week, try to kind of go ahead and I can let Lori and John know to send out to teams to let them know kind of what people are already saying that they're doing, and that might help some teams decide what they want to do when they start hearing what other teams are doing. I know we have a couple activities on the sheet already. Jennifer, were you able to join? Is that Jennifer's iPhone?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I couldn't get through. I had to go through the website, but I'm here.
Okay. So Jennifer's team is going to do yard games. So they have that coming out. Jennifer, do you want to tell them what you had coming out?
Yeah, Triangle Lawn Games. We connected with them last year, and they want to be a sponsor for the event. And they were able to come back this year, and they're going to we're going to have giant Jenga, giant Connect 4, and also putt, little mini putt course things. And I'm just going to run it through my campsite.
Yeah, that'll be great. Okay, so y'all going to do your homemade ice cream. That's good. And it's going to go really fast this year, Beverly. So y'all might need to have way more than you normally do because it's going to be hot. So you know that you're going to sell a lot of it.
Yeah, we're trying to stagger the deliveries because of the heat. So we're taking that into account. Thanks.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
It's always gone before I get any in April. So yeah, definitely bring more.
Yeah. 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 So, Sarah, we are not signing up yet. We're kind of still waiting to see how many more teams might sign up coming up. And then probably, I'm thinking early July, we'll be ready to sign up for campsite. And we have talked about trying to have an in-person meeting of some kind, and we're still trying to figure that out. Amanda and I can have it at school, but we're trying to get through end of year testing and graduation before we move on to that next thing. So that ends this week. So the 11th, Friday, is our last day of school, and graduation is the 10th. So once we're done with that, we can focus on that a little bit more and let everybody know about a meeting being in person. It may have to be early July before we can do that, because the end of June, which I was thinking would be a good time, I will be on vacation. So, but we are trying to figure that out so that we can have a time for people to drop anything off if they already have donations that they want to drop off, or so that you can pick up materials and that type of thing. So we're looking early July to try to do that. But we will definitely let you know as soon as we figure out what and when and how that's going to happen. Let's think what else. One thing we need to, I guess, start doing is selling luminaries. There are forms on the website. They can also buy them on the website. So if you, as a team captain, could print out forms and take them to your church or wherever and try to sell the luminaries, that would be great. So we can start to get those coming in and working on the luminaries. John, I do have my 2 daughters really want to take on the luminaries, so they don't want to do the program, which I think, Will, you were doing that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they were talking about the organization and doing the names and doing the hard work at the actual event, like being kind of over organizing all that. So they told me the other day again, they said, Mom, we want to do that. So
That's
they've done
awesome.
it their whole lives, so I'm going to let them do it.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so they want to be over that part, and they can recruit help and all that. And I know a couple of people on here have said they would help with that part of it too. So that would be great, to all work together on that. Did you want to talk for a minute, John, about the t-shirts?
Yeah. So I want to recap. We have a lot of people on the call, which is amazing. So thank you all for joining us. I know there's hurricanes are playing right now, so we'll try to be as quick as we can. But since a lot of you probably weren't with us early in the year when we talked through some of the t-shirt changes, I want to just make sure we kind of cover that again. And I will be sending out kind of a recap email that will explain it in more detail as well. But I want to make sure we're all on the same page. So with the massive budget deficit that the American Cancer Society had last year with COVID and the pandemic, because of the loss in fundraising from a lot of our canceled events and things like that, we had to make some really tough decisions. So one of them was a few changes to our t-shirt program. So as you know, last year we didn't have Relay for Life t-shirts available for events, but we really wanted to make that possible this year. So the t-shirts are going to be available, but the American Cancer Society won't be purchasing those shirts and sending them out to our events. They're going to be available for you to get in 2 ways. One way is through your Relay Rewards, and that's where you earn you earn a point for every dollar you raise. So through that, you can go to our Relay Rewards website and order your shirts directly from there by just redeeming some points. And that is the only way to get your Hope Club shirt, right? Because you have to raise $100 to get your Hope Club shirt. So if you'd like to get your Hope Club shirt this year, you do need to make sure that you've got the $100 raised on your name. So if you're one of those folks that usually put everything to the team level, and we're just like, oh, we just want it all to go to the team, like that's fine. But without Relay Reward points, you wouldn't be able to get your Hope Club shirt. So I encourage you all to make sure you at least have $100 on each person on your team so that they can claim their Hope Club shirt. And the other change to the Hope Club shirts this year is it's also very expensive to print the custom backs that would have like our local Relay name and all our local sponsors on there. And it's actually saving us millions and millions of dollars by not sending shirts to events and by not custom printing shirts per event. So those are kind of 2 big changes that's going to save a bunch of money, allow us to fund more research. So if you didn't know, currently today in North Carolina, we are funding just over $11 million in research grants. So it's absolutely amazing that we can do that, but we want to be able to continue to do that and do even more. And these couple changes to the shirt program will help us do that. So let me just show you.
Well, I did the order and I received mine yesterday.
Oh, nice. See, Will's already on it. That's awesome. So let me share my screen real quick because I wanted to show you what I'm talking about with the website. So give me 2 seconds. And can you all see my screen right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So this is our Relay Rewards site right here. So you're able to go to this website. You would log in just like you do through your Relay site, and you'll be able to see all the different things that you can claim for different points levels. And this is the American Cancer Society's way of thanking you for all your hard work. And one of those is right here that says Event Tees. So if you click on that link, here's what's going to come up. So you can see that you've got Survivor shirts, your Hope Club shirts, our team captain, and our leadership team shirts. So you can get all of those shirts right here on the Relay Rewards website. All the shirts are 100 points, so you can redeem 100 points and get any one of those shirts. So that's, you know, the first way to get a shirt. You can order those right now. If you've got the points and you're, you know, if you've raised the money, you can do that.
You have to order the Hope shirts also, because I just ordered a team leader and an event an event, you know, the leadership. So I needed to
Yes.
order the Hope shirt also.
Yes, if you want the Hope Club shirt, you would have to order it from the Relay Rewards website, because that's the only place you can get it this year. Okay, so that's the one that's different. And the next thing I'm going to show you all is how you can actually just buy shirts outright if you want to. So we know some teams are just like, you know what, you know, I'm just going to buy the shirts for our team members, so they don't have to worry about redeeming points and all that, and that's totally fine. And that's the next thing I want to show you. So that's going to happen over here. This is our partners website. Will Enterprises is the company that actually produces our Relay shirts across the East Coast for the American Cancer Society. So this is a website that they created for us, where they are selling the stockpile of shirts that they have. So you can see here the survivor shirts, the event leadership team shirts, team captain shirts, and there's even this other shirt that's kind of a, I don't know what you call that, Jill, turquoise or teal or something. But that's just like
I think that was a youth shirt, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, there's an adult version down here. Most of the shirts are split up between like youth sizes, adult size, and some are also split up between like the larger sizes. But you can see.
That was where I ordered from, so I didn't see a Hope shirt on there. So.
Yep, and that's why, Will, you got to go to the Relay Rewards one to get your Hope Club shirt, and that's because you can't purchase the Hope Club shirt with dollars, because it's a reward for your fundraising. So that's why it's different. But as you can see, the shirts are, you know, mostly right around $2 or $2.30 per shirt. So you're able to get any of those shirts you want right here. Now, is Kara, are you on the call?
You mean Kelly?
Is Kelly? Yeah, I'm confusing my people. Yes, Kelly. Did you want to share your news?
Yeah, sure. I got a donor who is willing to purchase the survivor shirts for us. So we don't have to worry about survivors having to purchase their own shirts.
That's
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. So we'll be able to buy them through that for $2 and something a piece. Is that right?
Yeah. So we'll work with the folks that Kelly is connected with that want to purchase some shirts. Now, I want to just make one little caveat to that, is they're willing to purchase survivor shirts for us, but we don't know, because this is a new combined event. And it's a little bit of a weird year because we don't know how many survivors, we don't have many registered right now, so we don't know how many are going to want to come to the event in person. So it's going to be very hard for us to figure out how many shirts we would need. So Kelly's sponsor is going to purchase a quantity of shirts for us, but I would just be a little bit careful with, like, we don't want to guarantee when a shirt size in their specific, because we're going to get what they're willing to buy for us, and that's what we'll have to give out. So I will just, you know, just a little bit of caveat there, like, we don't want anyone upset and they're like, well, you promised me a shirt. Like, we're going to do our best to get you a shirt because of this amazing partner that Kelly has secured for us. But they're the ones that are being very generous in buying the shirts for us. But I will just say, like, if your team or something like that, like if you really just want to get your own shirts, you can still do that right on that website, and then you'll get exactly the sizes you want because you'll be ordering your sizes directly. Does that make sense?
It does, but if they're willing to give $1,000 for survivor shirts, then that's over 400 survivor shirts. So I feel like, I mean, we can't guarantee sizes, but I feel like we would have enough shirts for.
And I think we would too, Joe. I think we would have enough. Now, if every survivor in Wake County came out, I know from previous records that's over 1,000, but I know they won't all be there. You know what I mean? And that's just Wake County. That doesn't count for Durham or Orange County. Now, that's why I just want to be a little bit, we just don't want to make sure we're not promising someone something that we may or may not be able to fulfill, but we're going to do our best to have as many shirts as we can for you all and for your survivors. So, yeah. All right, and any questions for me on those t-shirt changes?
Do you want to tell them like what do we tell corporate sponsors that are used to being a corporate sponsor and being on the shirt, like the event shirt?
Yeah, so that's the other thing that's real important, that you look at the sponsorship packet that we have on the website. Because what we don't want you to do, obviously, is go to a business and say, hey, like, it's relay time again. You're like, give us your same amount you always do, and you're going to be on the back of the shirt, because it won't be on the back of the shirt, right? So we don't want to promise something that we can't deliver. But look at the benefits, because we put a lot of work, myself and your volunteer leadership team, into building out the package to try to have benefits that we thought would be valuable to folks. But the same messaging I kind of began this conversation with is, make sure you share with them that the reason we're not going to have sponsors' names and logos on our shirts is because we're trying to save money, and we want to fund programs that are going to help support patients right now battling cancer. And we want to fund life-saving research that's going to provide cures in the future for those patients. So that's our priority, and that's why we're shifting that money into those priorities, because we don't have the money that we used to, because we're, like I said, we're $200 million down in our fundraising compared to 2019. So if you can use just kind of a couple taglines there, like, we're trying to save money, that money is going to be put to amazing use to help patients and survivors and fund research. And if you tell sponsors that, I have not had any pushback from sponsors. I mean, maybe a little disappointment that they won't have their name on the shirt, but I have never had anyone say, well, we're not going to support you because you're not putting our name on the shirt. So just keep that in mind, like, share with them the reasons why we're making those changes, and they're probably going to be happy to continue to support, because they're really here at the end of the day to support the mission of helping our cancer patients and funding that research that we're absolutely so happy to do in North Carolina. So yeah, any other questions though? Okay, and I will just say that if you want me or anyone from our leadership team to go out and talk to one of your sponsors or something like that, like, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to visit them, give them a call, send them an email. Like, if they have questions you can't answer, that's okay. Just say, I don't know, but I'll find out. And you ask me, or just send them directly to me. And, if anyone's upset, guess what? That's my job, guys. So like, just send them to me. I'll talk to them, and we'll do whatever we can to try to make them happy and understand like why we've made the changes we have.
Hey, John, I do have a question. It looks like in the chat, someone requested if you could show how to get to the shirt to buy one more time.
Yeah, so let me just put the links in the chat, because that's, yeah, I can screen share that, but you won't actually, you need the link to get to it, right? So let me put that in the link, and that will also be in a recap email we're going to send out later as well. So I'll include both of those links here in a second in the chat, so everyone will have that, and you can click on it and go straight to it. Any other questions?
Can I ask a question about the survivor information? And this may be for Leslie. I know you're trying to work still with the survivors. Are we doing anything, Leslie? I think Jill just said that we don't know, or John just said that we don't really know how many survivors we have yet. Do you have any forms coming in as of yet? And do we have a plan to have any kind of event before relay related to survivors? We've done that in the past, but I just don't know. And it looks like Leslie dropped off, but oh, there she is. Hey, Leslie.
You're muted. Leslie,
I'm not
you're
muted. Yeah,
Leslie.
you're muted, Leslie. Still muted.
Leslie, do you see the little microphone in the corner?
No, she's trying to figure that out. Yeah, it still shows that you're muted, Leslie.
She's on her phone. Do y'all know
Yeah.
how to tell her to do it on her phone, unmute it on her phone?
Is it,
You
I'm
might
not on
Without
my,
signing in.
yeah, I'm not on my phone, but I think it's star something. Is anyone on your phone could help us out with that?
No. Sandy, so
Usually like when I'm on my phone and I am on a Zoom meeting, I have to touch my screen and a like, box will pop up from the bottom or the top, and that's where the microphone button is, but you have to touch your screen to activate the pop-up.
I think she said that's what she's doing, but
Okay.
Yeah.
of course
and-
I would ask you a question, Leslie, and make it difficult for you. Sorry about that.
I actually,
The reason
oh, sorry, go ahead.
the reason I was asking though, Jill, and of course, Leslie, you might just be able to listen, is I got to looking at the PowerPoint presentation that we did several years ago, out at Relay. And I was really hoping that we could do something similar like that again. My team wants to do, photos again of the event, of course, and because we always lack in that area, it seems like being able to get them. So I'd really like to focus this year just on getting photos, taking photos at the event, but also trying to do photos once again of the survivors. I think that was an awesome thing that we did. And John, I can send it to you, but it was basically a PowerPoint presentation that we did of photos we took of survivors prior to the event. And we used our meetings, of course, in-person meetings, to be able to try to get people to come and coordinate that. Obviously, we're not meeting in person or haven't yet. And I know that we're a wider event this time, but I was hoping that maybe we could at least set up a place for survivors when they come and they check in at the event, that we could, do some of those pictures and kind of do something similar like we did. We ran it that night during the luminary ceremony. And, it was, I don't know, you can talk about it, Jill, say from your perspective, whether you thought it was something good or meaningful, but I think it just helps people put a name with a face and get a little bit more information about. They only shared it if they wanted to. They could tell what kind of cancer they had, how long of a survivor they were. But like I said, if it was okay for us to share their photo, but they ended up being part of the kind of PowerPoint that was running during the luminary ceremony. So, and then it ran for a while afterwards too, but I'd really like to do something like that again if you were interested in that.
I think it's awesome. Yeah, it was great. Like it was a really great thing to do. And I think the survivors really enjoyed it and appreciated it as well. That's something we need to, I guess, Leslie, we need to kind of meet, maybe me and you and Dana,
Okay.
and then whoever else wants to, but we could meet and brainstorm about like how to make that happen. And also we need to talk about how we're going to get the word out to survivors. I feel like we need to do some kind of thing like we did a couple of years ago where we sent save the date cards out to survivors, and the cards told them how to register for the event. And we got a lot of survivors that way. So I'd really like to do that again if we can.
Yeah, I was kind of
maybe-
thinking the same thing since John had mentioned that we really didn't know how many at this point. Like I said, we're, a month and a half out, from it. So I really didn't know if there was something planned that I hadn't heard about. Like I believe, Leslie, you might have done an ice cream social kind of survivor thing before. And I just didn't know if there was something else that we were doing. But if there's some way for us to encourage them to come, and then also we could put some kind of blurb on there about this, we'd love for you to participate in our, survivor photo shoot kind of thing, and be part of our, luminary ceremony presentation, that would be awesome too, for us to talk about.
Yeah, and the luminary thing, are you saying, Dana, like doing pictures out there?
Yeah,
like
I mean,
the survivors
I
get
think
there
I
and
could
have it
still,
ready for that night? Is that what
yeah,
you're?
so I think we can still do it. That obviously the earlier that we have a survivor there gives me more time to be able to get it done and put it into the PowerPoint would already be ready. I mean, it's already created from last time. Basically, I would just be inserting the picture and of course also putting in the name and information. So it won't take quite as long, to be able to do it. But obviously if we had, as soon as the survivor comes, if they could be directed to the tent to be able to take the picture, then that gives us more time to get it ready before the luminary ceremony does.
And so.
And what time is the survivor dinner?
Yeah, the event starts at 10 and then the reception will start at 12. And then at 1 will be the survivor ceremony. So they'll be there fairly early compared.
And then
more time.
yeah, that's great.
In the luminary ceremony than we normally have, because we usually do dinner and then.
Right. So that's awesome. So the way it's kind of set up, because it'll give us the time to be able to have them there early. And even if they were planning to come to that and maybe leave, they might want to come back or they might want to stay longer, which means that they participate in other tents and fundraisers longer. We'll keep them there if they think that they, are more vested in that ceremony. So.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I know Leslie does too. I can tell.
Yeah.
What if me, you, and Leslie next week maybe could meet, like the three of us to get on a call together and kind of work out some ideas and things. And then John, would we be able to send something out to survivors?
So yeah, I do want to say, I just looked at the report. Right now we have 19 survivors signed up for Relay. So that's a huge difference compared 19. 19, yeah. So normally we would have probably over 100 at this point. So we're definitely low on that. So we've got to find a way to reach out to survivors. I'm a little bit restricted on mailing stuff, because think about it, 50 cents a postcard times, maybe trying to send out, 400-ish postcards can get very expensive. But that's something we can
email.
look at.
I mean, I was just thinking, create a save the date and send it over email. I mean, I don't, but doesn't ACS have all the survivor email addresses for people that registered in the past?
Yes, we can definitely do emails. That's easy to do. The postcards is just a little tricky because it costs a good amount of money now with the mailing. Unless we had someone that was willing to send them for us, which we've had in other communities where, local business will say, we'll mail them for you. And then we print them, give them to them, and they send them out. But yeah, so we can talk through that though and see, but I definitely, love to hear ideas. And I love the survivor pictures thing. I've seen that done before and it is amazing. It's one of my favorite parts of Relay when we do that during luminaries. So that would be great. And I would think too of ways to find the survivors ahead of time, and maybe they email in a photo and whatever message they want, because getting it done early would be a huge help. Because imagine if we did have 200 people show up and all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I got to get 200 photos and 200 names into a PowerPoint. You could do it, but it would be much easier to get it done ahead. So yeah.
Oh, I can do it. I love a challenge.
She can do it.
I would just be excited to have them there. But one of the greatest things too is it wasn't just about the survivors. I mean, we also incorporated the pictures of the survivor with their families too. So, and I think Jill and Leslie, both being survivors, I know I've worked with them for years, and several of the others on the call with me know that it's been a special memory to look back on, to see, I don't know how many of those survivors are, have had some kind of change in their status, so I would hate, There you go, Jill. Way to show that. But I mean, it's special looking back on that, and it's also important to see where the milestones that people have made. And I think it's very encouraging, to be able to see it. So hopefully it'll be meaningful. And like I said, it would be something that would be important to them. So
Yeah, and I think Dana too is we could definitely make sure they're okay with us sharing it on our social channels too, because for those survivors that may not want to come out in person, it'd be great to be able to put that together and then share it like after the event or something like that, where we could just create a little video of the presentation and share.
yeah,
that
I
on our
actually
Facebook
had
page.
like kind of a release form that anybody who did the pictures last time signed, so that they would know that if we used it at any kind of, relay event in the future or anything, it would be okay for us to be able to show that or display that. So I've got that same thing I can use again, but it basically is just an information sheet so that I would have their name and the type of cancer they had and how many years they were a survivor, but also the fact that they would be okay with us using the photo, so.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. Love that idea.
I do too. So, Leslie and Dana, I'll text y'all next week.
Okay.
Once I'm done with school and graduation, I'll text you guys and we'll talk next week so we can go ahead and get something out. And then I would just encourage teams to start recruiting survivors as well and having them go to the website to register. One thing we've run into in the past, John, is having older survivors that weren't comfortable with the website and registering online. So we always had paper things for them to register on, and then someone would go and put it into the system for them.
Yeah, and so I will say the paper forms are still an option. The only thing I will share is they're not automated, so it's not like they fill out the form and then a computer scans it in and they get registered. It has to be hand keyed in by staff, and we're down 2,000 staff than we were last year. And there's a limited number of people that can enter those forms for our events across the state. So we can do it, but that's like kind of the least option for registering. I would really encourage folks to just call our 800 number. It's 1-800-227-2345. With one phone call, maybe 5 minutes, you're registered. And for anyone that can't use a computer, if they can make a phone call or even have someone make the call for you and they sit next to you, because I've got some folks that just can't hear over the phone well, and that's fine. But have your loved one or a friend make the call and just say, hey, I'm sitting here with Daryl, and he wants to get registered as a survivor for Relay of the Triangle, and they'll go through the whole registration process, and they just need a consent signed or agreed to over the phone by the actual person, and then they're done. So you can't register someone that you're not with, but you can call with someone you're next to, and they can get them registered over the phone. So that's the easiest way to do it if you're not able to go to the website. You can definitely do forms, and when we meet in person, I can bring forms out, but just realize that the time it would take to get those forms entered, it could be weeks to a month before they actually show up on the website. And that would make it very difficult for us planning the event to have the shirt in their size, because we're going to need to order those shirts pretty soon in order to get them out there.
Maybe we have volunteers that could.
Hang on, I couldn't quite hear you, Joe. What'd you say on that one?
I said, do we have maybe we have volunteers that might have time to enter stuff into the computer, or does it have to be a staff member?
It's because of privacy protections, it has to be staff, and they have to be specially trained staff, and that's why it's very few of them. But if if we were to host maybe like a drive-through registration event where folks drive up, and then we can assist them, like, hey, what's your email address? Let me help you get registered, or like get your phone out while you come through, and we'll walk you through the steps, that kind of thing too. Or just, like I said, have the paper forms, but it will just take a little while in the paper forms. Yep.
Okay, so Leslie and Dana will meet next week and brainstorm some ideas about how to like the logistics of what we want to do, and also how we can get the word out to get survivors registered. We can talk about that.
I think
Sarah-
Rhonda has her hand up. She wants
Okay.
to say something.
Okay.
Yeah, never mind. He answered my question.
Okay.
I just have church people that are older and, they're weird about and can't do stuff and they want me to do things for them. And in the past I've turned in sheets, but somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to do their mess online, I guess.
Yeah, and
So,
Rhonda, if
we'll
you
see.
want forms, I can mail them to you. That's not a problem. But I would say, like, if you guys are, I don't know if you're meeting in person for church, but if you were,
We are.
maybe one day, like after service, you say, hey, if you need help registering for our relay team, come over
Yeah.
here. And then when they get to you, just be like, okay, pull out your phone, and let's call or something like that. That might work.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something because they.
I get
Bless
you the
their
forms if
hearts.
you need them. It's okay.
No, I don't want to do forms. I'll make them or Copper, get off the table. I'm sorry, my dog. My dog's trying to eat stuff again. I'll I'll figure it out with them. Whether I help them on their phone or what. So
Yeah, and if it was yeah, and just keep me posted on it, because there's like, if it's a certain days, I may be able to come out and help you as well. I can't guarantee.
no, it's fine. I'll get it done. I just I'm not going to inconvenience anybody else, but it'll be fine. I'll work it out. Get them set
No.
up. I appreciate it.
No, you're good. I think anything we can do to help get our survivors registered, I am all for it, and I will do whatever I can to help out.
Alrighty, thank you.
Yeah, I had something to throw out as far as the luminary ceremony. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like what I've done in the last few years at CAM is like during the ceremony is have several speakers to speak, like do a little 5 or 10 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. We'll speak cancer related thing about sales or caregiver experience or whatever like that. I've reached out to the folks that I had scheduled to speak last year. I've only got one response of the speakers, so they're kind of iffy. So I just wanted to find if there's anyone that's on the call right now, or if you have someone on your team that would be interested in speaking during the ceremony. And also, I like the idea of incorporating that survivor, that thing you were talking about a minute ago during the ceremony. If we do, especially if we do have a couple of speakers, that would be real good.
Yeah, and just a quick question for everyone here is, if I could get a ACS funded researcher to come out to the event, would you all be interested in that? Having them talk at some point?
Yeah.
Okay, because we did have that one researcher that was really, like, he kind of already talked about the luminary ceremony and how that meant so much to him at Relay, and that could be, I can reach out and see if he's willing to come out in person with us. That'd be pretty great.
That would be good.
Okay, so I'll check on that.
Is Sharice on the call?
Yes, it looks like she is.
Hey, yeah, because Sharice, the gentleman that you had mentioned to me, I sent something out to him. I don't know if it's available. What's his status?
It looks like she might have just dropped off.
Okay.
Wait, maybe she's back. Some Zoom technical difficulties tonight.
William,
Uh-huh.
did you get in touch with Corey?
Yeah, I sent an email like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Within a minute. I haven't gotten a response.
Okay.
I think
I will reach out to him tomorrow.
Okay, because he and my sister and I think Jackie had said she would speak. So I know she's kind of out of town or something right now, so I hadn't had a chance to get with her, but like I said, if there's someone that knows it, they would like to speak, because it's a real good thing, real good feeling that gives people just to hear, you know, what somebody else is going through.
So,
You know.
do you have somebody that's gonna sing or anything during it?
Yeah, actually you have a guy that does the bagpipes during the silent lap leading up to the luminary, and then the silent lap afterwards. Then his Steve does one of her self-composition songs. She plays guitar, and she usually plays also.
Okay. Okay, so one
But
other thing.
if you know somebody, it's always good to have a plan B. Or
We do. We have a girl that has sung at ours a lot. She wrote a song like for it, basically. So I can see if she's available also, or she can be a backup, or we can.
Or you can do both.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can check with her also.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to just kind of go over is just like what we have set up so far as the day goes, just so you can start thinking about it and spreading the word and stuff like that. So you know that the event starts at 10 a.m. and then we're still kind of filling in the morning. We had planned to have like Zumba or something like that in the morning, and we have an email out to some of the North Carolina queens and princesses because they wanted to be a part of Relay somehow. So we have an email out to them trying to kind of coordinate that with them. So they would probably be there probably early in the day. And then we have, like I said earlier, the survivors reception is set for 12. The 1 p.m. would be the survivor ceremony and lap. Then we have the band, The Ride, scheduled from like 1:30 to 4:30. And then from 5 to 8, we have Jason Adamo Band. So we have two pretty big bands that seem to have, you know, somewhat of a following. So we have those two bands set up. So they're going to be the, you know, majority of the entertainment throughout the day. But we do have the sound people set up, and they can play music like in between and at downtimes and stuff. We're going to plan to start the luminary ceremony at 8:30, and the closing ceremony is at 10. When we had planned the relay for last April, we had planned to have, after the luminary ceremony, we had planned to have karaoke. I haven't found anyone to do karaoke yet, so if anybody knows of anybody that can do that, we can still fit that in between the luminary ceremony and the closing ceremony. Also have another little local band that wants to, it's a group of young people that have a rock band, and they would like to play even if it's for 30 minutes. So, and they're part of our Choose Local and Small team that has just done a huge fundraiser for our relay. So I want to try to give them a little spot somewhere to play. So, and then closing ceremonies at 10. So that's kind of what we have. And, you know, we're still looking for, you know, I'm waiting to hear from a lot of teams with what they're doing, which some teams will be doing us like activities throughout the day at their campsites, little things to do so that, you know, to draw people out there. So I feel like it's spread out pretty well. Like I feel like the survivors thing will bring a good crowd for that time of day, and then other people that want to come out and listen to music and do things like that, it'll draw them out, you know, later throughout the day. So if you guys have any ideas, or if you have any connections to anybody that we could get to come out and just be there to be a draw for people and things like that, then that would be great. When we had planned it before, Naheem Hines was going to be out there signing autographs and throwing football, and but since it's July 31st, he will be in Indianapolis training. So I am going to reach out to him again and just see if, by chance he would be able to fly out and be there with us that day. But that's going right into their football season, so I'm not sure that he can do that. And I'll reach out to other people I know, but if anybody has any connections or ideas of people we could have come out that could be a draw for throughout the day, then please let me know. We'll reach out to them.
This cosplay group that we used at CAM the last 2 or 3 years, it might be good. I have that information to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, William.
Still, I have my connection to the Wolfpack women's basketball team. I'll ask. I don't know
Okay.
what their schedule's like, but I'll ask and see if they can come out.
Okay. I don't know how many, will be in town then, but maybe.
Yeah, I don't know when they start
Mm-hmm.
practicing. That's pretty close to when school starts, so they may
Yeah.
be back, but I'll ask.
Classes start August 16th.
Yeah, they probably are back practicing already at that point then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, John, I think that's all I had.
Yeah, so just one final reminder to team captains, please fill out that survey. Really going to help us plan a great event experience for you, but we need to know what your plans are with your team and how we can best help you. So that is linked in the chat. We'll also do a recap email with some updates and things like that, hopefully early next week. So look out for that. And then I'll also be sharing the recording of this call, which you'll get put on our website and on our Facebook page. So if you know anyone that wanted to be here tonight and join us but couldn't because they were at the hockey game, they can definitely watch the recording later. So thank you all so much for joining.
Hey, is there a projected date for the in-person meetings? Like right now, I'm able to drive, but I'm trying to figure out whether I will be able to get there by then or not.
It won't be until July. It won't be until July, but I'm not sure about the date yet. I'm gonna have to get with Amanda and get.
And my next follow-up is July 2nd, so I should know what kind of shape I'm in by then. So as long as it's that second, I should be good.
Yeah, it would be after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
a question. This is Sandy.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, any idea for projected date for 2022 by chance?
Oh yeah, you were asking about that the other day, and I was gonna email the committee. So next year, there's 2 weekends because we usually do it the last weekend in April, right? So wait, that's 2021. Hold on. So next year in April, the 23rd is a Saturday, and then the 30th is a Saturday. We usually do it the last Saturday of April, or last Friday and Saturday of April, but we don't usually go quite that late. So I was gonna try to get with the committee and ask them about the 23rd versus the 30th.
Okay, gotcha.
So, can we get back to you maybe next week? Would that be too late for what you need it for?
Nope, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, so it would be either one of those 2 weekends. So
okay.
Just let me check with the whole committee and see which one they think we should do. So,
Okay,
okay,
I'll hold both for now. Tentative.
Okay.
Thank you.
okay, thanks, Sandy.
Okay, anyone else have any questions before we sign off? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording then, Jill.